Elevate your new week. Fuel your success. SSM invites you to kickstart each weekday with our news update, Between the Lines, featuring the week's top news and analysis, and the most attention-grabbing lines, deciphering world event.
Yes, viewers, let's cipher world event again today, 27 May 2024. My name is Mark Godwin Iweajua, and we're here to do our Monday update, Between the Lines. Between the Lines is done with my colleagues and friends from different parts of the world. Right here with me at the studio is Soyinka Raji. How are you, sir?
Good evening, Massive Mark. Good evening, viewers around the world. Welcome to Between the Lines on Monday.
Yes, Between the Lines on Monday, and we have our guys, our people, great men and women. Right there in London, UK, is Fiona Akuno. You wonder how I'm pronouncing.
I don't know. You're doing something very strange there. Welcome to all the viewers around the world. Thank you for having me. Happy Children's Day to all the people with children celebrating today. I just want to wish you guys, I know it's nearly the end of the day, but I hope you all had a fantastic day.
Yes, we're coming to that. We're coming to the Children's Day. It's an important day for the kids in Nigeria, but we can't go in without our man in Toronto, Canada, Sir George Ku. Sir George, welcome to Between the Lines.
Well, thank you so much, Mike Godwin and Soyinka Raji and Fiona Akano. Just want to welcome you all to the show. And viewers from around the world, this is our day when we get in between, in the middle of everything concerning you, and we dig deep to bring you the news and the answers and solutions. I want to welcome you from around the world today to our show. It's going to be a great one.
Indeed, and viewers are stepping in. You're welcome, Sir George. Guys, before we go on, let's just see this, then we talk.
Childhood is about innocence. To the little ones who make our world brighter, may the laughter of children echo forever. Because every child is a story yet to be told. In their smiles, we find the purest joy. SSM wish every Nigeria child Happy Children's Day.
Yes, friends, brothers, sisters. Today is Children's Day in Nigeria. It's actually in Nigeria and some part of the world. It's not global anyway. But the Children's Day is a special day. A day we want to celebrate the honor of children. So I want you guys to do your shout out. For me here, all I want to say is every child is a story yet to be told. Every little child also makes our world brighter. Children are such innocent, playful humans, and that child thing is also one phenomenon our Lord Jesus Christ used to amplify how it is in the kingdom of God. So special set of beings God created, and we're happy to be celebrating them, commemorating on this day of Children's Day, 27th of May 2024. Yes, let me start with George. George, I know it's not Children's Day in Canada. Tell us.
No, it is not. Well, but we're celebrating. We're celebrating Children's Day too here. But it's not the day though, because there's another day that we're brought up for children. But children around the world, it's like a small village that we have anyway. So we want to wish them, prosperous future, bright future, and good education. They are the future leaders of our tomorrow. Whatever we're going through today, we are supposed to be laying foundation for them to, make an indelible mark in their lives through governance and through what we do individually, corporately, and families. So we want to wish them Happy Children's Day today.
Thank you, George. Yes, Raji, let's hear you. Then the mother will give the last round. Raji, let's hear.
I join Sir George to wish our children a Happy Children's Day. Every child is an unfolding history in motion. We used to be told that we children, when we were children, we used to be told that we were leaders of tomorrow. But I tell the children of today that they should not listen to that. They are not leaders of tomorrow. They are leaders in their own right as at now. And therefore, they should take leadership position wherever they are, in the family, among their siblings, among their mates, so that they'll be preparing themselves for the future. And the future is actually now. I wish them a bright future, a brighter future than we had. And
the future is now. And yes, a brighter future
now.
than we had, we wish for them. Fiona, the mother in the house. Yes, you started your intro with that. Let's hear the concluding part now, Fiona.
So I don't think I'm more important than any of the fathers here. So I think that's the first thing I'm going to say. I think that we're all equally relevant in our, in our respective children's lives. So I think, that accolade, I'm not sure, but I just want to say, to everybody out there who is blessed with having children, people they treat as children, nephews, nieces, people that they look after, just hope that you've had a fantastic day celebrating with them, especially if you were in a country that's celebrating today. We here in the UK, actually, today is actually our second bank holiday of May. So we've actually been at home or, well, doing different things anyway. And, for all the children out there, we're striving to try and make things better for you. And, the prayer is just always that, you'll be able to do greater things than we have done. And we just hope that the world is going to be a better place for you as you grow.
Thank you very much, Fiona. So once again, let's run that clip. Then we come into our program. Let's run that children's clip. Thank you, everybody.
Childhood is about innocence. To the little ones who make our world brighter, may the laughter of children echo forever. Because every child is a story yet to be told. In their smiles, we find the purest joy. SSM wish every Nigeria child Happy Children Day.
Thank you. Yes, indeed we do. And guys, remember, we've on several occasions in this program, in this network, we've talked about various issues affecting children, from the abduction, kidnapping, child abuse, and all that. And I think it's wise we'll continue on those dialogue, put to awareness the benefit of protecting our little ones. So, guys, let's come to it. Thank you very much, gentlemen. First of all,
by the way, we can't talk about children, especially Nigeria, where they're celebrating children, without talking about some of these atrocious things that are going on in our country. And that is kidnapping of babies and kidnapping of these little girls or boys, and then selling them off, or kidnapping them after the mother gives birth to them and then sell them. So we cannot talk about, congratulating the children for them to enjoy themselves. But there are children that are also in this dire situation, not knowing where they are going or who their parents are because they were stolen. So we need to really pray for them that God will expose all these syndicates that are selling children and ensure that every child have the opportunity to be raised where they're supposed to be raised, rather than selling them off into others who are adopting these children and doing whatever with them. So I just wanted to say that.
That's a noted statement. Thank you very much. Yes, so let's come to it. But before coming to the major stories, let's look at also some follow-ups. When we give news updates, we also do follow-ups to it. One of it we had on Friday was we were hearing that Papua New Guinea, remember Papua New Guinea, we gave that update on Friday. So far, 2,000 people are feared being buried alive by that massive landslide. So Papua New Guinea is on the radar, and everybody's looking at how we could. I mean, that's a terrible one. What happened was sand, huge bomb of sand just covered people, and 2,000 is the figure as at this afternoon. Maybe that number will be increasing too. So Papua New Guinea, 2,000 people buried alive, and survivors we're still checking on the survivors. The government says so. Also, one of those things we need to give a follow-up. Guys, you all will need to add to this. The situation back home with Peter Obi and Wole Soyinka. Now, we've been following the news lately, how Wole Soyinka has been making some utterances. Now people are saying, is he doing this to distract people from the core issues on ground? Is he saying all of these things, making comments to remove attention from problems facing citizens of Nigeria while we are just talking all these intellectual things? Raji, let me start with you. Wole Soyinka, yes. Wole Soyinka's talk. Go ahead.
Yes. Wole Soyinka is a respectable icon. He made a statement, which is a personal statement. How it has become the center of national discourse, I still do not understand. But it seems as if Nigerians are more interested in things that take their attention from the very, very serious existential issues that they have. So they would rather chase shadows than face the substance. Wole Soyinka made a personal statement. That's all. That's all. So I don't see how.
But it's not really all.
A personal statement. How can you be making a personal statement when you're putting down somebody who has done nothing to you, but you choose to continue to disrespect yourself as an icon in our community, talking like a child, and then when people come and insult you, you want to pretend as if they're it is the function of the
emotions are just
no, it's not that. No. If you are a respected individual, listen, respect is reciprocal. If you demand respect, you must act respectfully. Do you understand? So you don't come out demanding respect from anybody. Well, then, when people are attacking him for making such stupid, unwarranted statement, he should not be angry. He should not make any statement.
He's not angry.
He's a respected man who everybody respects, but he's not respecting himself.
He's not asking for any himself. Wole Soyinka is not asking for anybody's respect.
Why is he complaining?
He's not complaining.
Wole
Soyinka is not complaining.
He's complaining.
Yes. He's not.
Let's get to the root of the issue, so our viewers understand what's happening. Now, what happened was Wole Soyinka came on an interview and claimed that Peter Obi, the LP presidential candidate last election, his followers, that they call them obedient, the obedient the obedient followers. His followers are attacking him, Wole Soyinka, and others that oppose the 2023 presidential election. So Wole Soyinka is saying that the followers of Peter Obi, the obedient, are being rude to him. Now, why it's becoming an issue is because people are saying Wole Soyinka is using this whole thing to create like a buzz around himself, so that he distracts the attention of people from talking the real thing, the real issues on ground.
Wole Soyinka doesn't have to create a buzz around himself.
The point is this: let me ask you a question, Raji. Raji, hold on. When he came out and said that Peter Obi is unfit to govern the nation, that he should not come out, it's a personal. So when you do a public statement, you must expect, responses and reactions. If he's a respected member of our community, he's supposed to be respecting himself. Well, he doesn't care. Why is he complaining? Why is he complaining?
He's not complaining.
He's not controlling. He is complaining. He's saying that obedience that Peter Obi is unfit because he's not able to control his followers from insulting him. That's what he said. He's complaining. You don't tell me he's not complaining when he's out there complaining. So where do you stand? Where do you stand?
Let's hear from
campaign is over, politics is over. Let's face.
That's what he's doing. He's discrediting Peter Obi when the politics is over. Yes.
Fiona, the talk here is they're insulting somebody, not controlling your crowd, not controlling your followers. And Peter Obi, like he said, has no power over disobedient. The obedient thing is not like it's an arranged thing. It's just some fans, some people that
a rabble.
follow up with him and all that. It's not like an arranged thing. So he can't come and say, you people don't do this, don't do that, because it's just fans, people that like him. So what will you say? Wole Soyinka's response?
It's actually a mob.
Sorry, what did you say about, what will I say about Wole Soyinka? What?
I mean, him coming on board and creating this whole rad matters, I don't know how you put it, that people are not respecting him enough. He's old, he's an elder man, he's this and that, and
so to start with, the whole thing is nonsense. That's the first thing. So the whole thing is arrant nonsense. That this is a non-Nigerian. He's nearly 90. He's going to be 90 in July. Yeah, so he's not a young.
Yeah, acting like a child.
He's an elderly person. So this is somebody who is supposed to actually not be involved in childish things. So we've got to give him the grace that maybe all is, we've got to give him that grace. However, I think that, of course, unto whom much is given, much is expected. We kind of expect that an elder statesman will be talking about peace and peaceful things. But if we really drill down to the bones of it, Wole Soyinka is he's a Nobel laureate, he's accomplished, he's world renowned, he's amazing. No, don't get me wrong. And I stand with that. And I'm very proud as a Nigerian that he's a Nigerian. However, for we people, we know that his antecedents and his history is not steeped in being holier than thou or being perfect. So we just, if that's the person he is, that's just, for me, that's the person he is. I don't think it's very nice to speak to someone's personal person. I don't think it's a very nice thing to do. It's not a nice thing to do, but we all do it. We all have our opinions and everything, and he's entitled to that opinion. If that's what he feels, that's what he feels. But I don't think it's enough for the nation to leave our coastal highway, to leave our children being married off, to leave. I just think it's absolute nonsense. And for me, the whole thing is a distraction. As for Peter Obi, the obedience, I think
that's it.
The obedience are always going to whatever Peter Obi does. I've talked about this before on the show that he's almost he has such an iconic status that anybody that comes for him, Nigerians, we are like that. If you come for us, whatever group of us, we are going to attack you. It's not a thing. If you go on any social media, if anybody outside Nigeria makes any attempt to even make a reference of any kind of no matter how bad we are amongst ourselves, we know, but we don't. So definitely his followers are not going to take that lightly. They're going to respond, but I don't think it's enough for us to be talking about and going back and forth about it. It's nonsense as far as I'm concerned. It's ridiculous. We don't need to.
Can I add to what you're saying? You see, if every man there is a king, and in every man there is a fool, and both men and women. If you appeal to the kingly, the royalty in somebody, they will give you royal treatment. If you appeal to the fool in people, an elderly man like this, almost 90 years old or going thereabout, ought to actually respect himself. When he speaks, everybody ought to stop and listen. Right now, what he's done is he's becoming so juvenile, like he's losing his mind. And I respectfully ask him to step out, step back. Let's respect what you have achieved.
There's something to say about the age. At a point in every human life, man or woman, when they get older, they begin to, that process of
drop that. Mark, drop that.
Don't give him excuses. Don't give him excuses.
That man is not senile in any way. That man still has his.
No,
if he's not senile, that means that he deserves what he's getting. If he's not senile,
he knows what he's saying.
Exactly what he's getting.
He doesn't care what you are saying. He doesn't care.
Well, he should not stop crying then.
He has made his point.
Let him stop crying.
He has moved on.
No, let him stop crying.
You are the guys who are getting so emotional about this thing.
Yeah, we're not.
Conversation. Let's bring in.
Sorry, can I just finish?
She was talking. Fiona was talking.
I want to speak to that comment that about senility or no senility. I think that when people get to a certain age, there's a way they respond to things because it's not even about him being senile or anything. It's about the fact that actually they have earned everything, and they will speak to however they feel, which is fine. I don't think a personal attack on anybody is fair, and I don't think it's right. But we're all behaving as if Wole Soyinka is some kind of holy guy. We all know
his background. Yes,
we know his background.
Yes, you know his background. And what do you know about his background, Mr. Chief Judge?
What I know about his background,
I'm not
he
surprised.
hijacked.
Do you know?
I know the history of the man, how he hijacked the government and his imprisonment and every statement he's been making.
Yes.
So, I mean, he should not even, most of the people that are attacking him are like him when he was younger. So why is he attacking them? Why is he attacking them?
All right, guys,
they can't be like him. There's no one like
they can't be like him.
Today is Children's Day. And there are some people that also are in that ministry of taking care of children, working with children. So I want to bring in, she's gone off, Emir Benson from Turkey. Okay, another man that looks after children through the medicals is our man, Dr. Godwin Ibe. Dr. Godwin,
Sorry, just can you?
Dr. Godwin is...
Sorry, I think that, this was kind of very loud. Yes, good evening, everyone. Happy to be amongst you once again.
Good evening.
Good. Yes, it's good to have you all here today. Yes, Emir Benson, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. I hope you can hear me.
Good. Before the program, we did a little small tribute to the children. And you've told me how you work with them, you teach them, help them. Now, what would your words be on a day like this? Let's hear something for you, for the children.
Okay, I'll say it from a mother's perspective because I'm like a mother to two children here. I'll say on the golden, I don't want to be poetic. Okay, children is our future, they are light, and they hold a very precious place in the world that we need to show them the right path, and we need to tell them the truth of the past, and we wish that the journey becomes very sweet for them in the future, and that we, the parents, too, do not create a future for the children that they will be despite for us for. That's my words for the children.
Nice. Thank you very much. I hope you have a section in your book, Being Nigeria, a section that talks on children too. Dr. Godwin, yes. Can you hear me? So what do you have?
Yes, I can hear you.
What are your words, small words for them on a special day like today for them?
Well, unfortunately, this program isn't really for kids.
No, it's not really for kids.
I think for parents around the world, it's important to know that children are a jewel, children are a treasure. They are there to continue our legacy and to follow our footsteps. And of course, if we continue to add value to the world in whatever we are doing, they will take after us and add more value. I want to celebrate all children around the world and hope that we would continue to leave the world a better place for them. And that means more innovations, less wars, more compromise, more peace, and more negotiation.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Also, while we were talking on the children, George said something. We need to address issues bordering on them. But George, do you know that the Minister of Women Affairs in Nigeria, Uju Kennedy, you remember he blocked that mass wedding that was to hold in Niger State. Now he has changed. She has back. She now has said they can go on. Can you imagine? Now, orphans, little kids, young girls will be married in a mass wedding in Niger State. A move she earlier criticized, but she now agrees with. I don't know what probably might have happened behind the scenes.
I have
Okay, go ahead, Fiona. Let's hear you. Let's hear what happened.
So her opposition to the situation was that she wanted to be sure that the people that were being married off were above the age of 18, so as not to contravene, in quotes, the Nigerian law about the age of, of majority. So that was her reason for that. So that was her reason why. And after going back and forth to court, it was apparently it was discovered that all of them are over the age of 18. Apparently, the second thing was that because I think one of the narratives that was put out there was that it was kids that were orphans, etc., etc. But it wasn't actually. There were actually some people who that weren't orphans. They're young ladies, and to my horror, I actually there was a mother of one of the girls who was talking about the gifts they had been given by the state. They've been given a sewing machine and I don't know, some other ridiculous nonsense. Anyway, I can't remember now. But and I just thought, so it's sometimes quite frustrating to battle for a cause when even the mothers are saying, oh, the state really helped us. They gave some ridiculous nonsense. So I understand what Uju Kennedy-Ohanenye was trying to do. I get it, and I understand why she stood up in opposition. I can imagine that behind the scenes, she had a huge, massive opposition from some of the powers that be, because in that part of the country, this is happening on a daily basis. So it's unfortunate. So if they're orphans and they don't have any quote unquote family or any people acting in the capacity of family, etc., etc., it's unfortunate that this is the life, this is the life that they've ended up in. But if according to because the narrative now is, oh well, they agreed, that's what they wanted to do, oh blah blah, but we all know that life in the care system anywhere in the world, even in the West, the care system is not the safest or the best place for somebody to be in. So goodness knows what trauma has been visited on these young women. It's an unfortunate situation, but it is.
Thank you, Fiona Akanu, thank you for that dig up. You did it well. Yema, do you want to add to this thing? You're a lady, and
Sure,
ladies
definitely.
younger than this will be forced into marriage, and Fiona has broken it down, told us how they probably manipulated them behind the scene, backdoor arrangements. Tell us, what do you think, Benson?
Okay. Like Fiona already said, that she wondered what they might have gone through, like the back door. I sympathize with these girls, because for me they're still kids, and being that the first thing the government they thought of to do for them was marriage is very depressing. Like, why not school? Why not just send them to learn like handwork, hairdressing, tailoring? Why not that? Why marriage? Why is it so important? Now that will make me to think, okay, yes, they want them to give birth so they have large numbers for votes or something like that. That's where it's driving to. It's unfortunate that even mothers from that part of the world are being brainwashed to believe that the first thing a girl child needs when they turn 18 is marriage. Whereas the tailoring jobs, they're orphans, they have nothing. Why not just make them rich, like have something in their bank account before thinking of marriage? I think at this age we need more knowledgeable people than just giving birth all over. I'm not saying giving birth is bad, but that's not the first thing that should have been given to them first. They should be giving them education, something to hold on to. I think.
Can I? Sorry to interrupt. Can I just interject that also? The state has said that for all the people that got married, they're going to give them a certain amount of money for the next 6 months. And I don't know, I think some kind of education or training or whatever. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know how this is. So this is, to me, this is what they're saying is this is our substitute for a social system where these people should be looked after without being married to some, I don't know, 100-year-old man. I don't know. It's ridiculous.
How long would that money last for them?
It's only for 6 months. The payment is only going to be made out for 6 months. It's nonsense.
I remember the last time too. They gave marriages. I think with 80 million naira to marriages to families, and they gave them beds and all that. It's pathetic.
It's crazy.
Now, guys. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, ladies. Guys, now let's talk with ourselves. What do you think would be a solution to all of this? I mean, it's really nonsense. The word nonsense is not an abusive word. It's not curse. it is how it sounds.
It is.
People need to, Africa need to realize that I mean, our numbers are growing every day. Every day, Nigeria, 200 and something million people, but no plan for that number. We're just giving birth, doing more things to give birth. Sir George, let's talk. Let me come to you. What do we do with this?
This is where religion and politics and culture clashes. Because this is something to them is really nothing. This is something they do. They do family arrangement, marriages and all those type of things. The question here is, who are they marrying to? Do we know the
no life men with no?
Okay, who are they marrying to? Is it possible that these people that they are marrying to are those who were insurgents? So some of those terrorists that are so-called rehabilitated individuals, in order to calm them down, then they'll find them young damsels and give it to them and pay them for 6 months. You see what Onyema was saying is really the key issue. With regards to Uju, who is that minister that changed her mind, I can guarantee you it was nothing but a force through the presidency that came to her and said, "Thus far, no further. Don't get yourself involved in something that doesn't concern you. Back off or else." And that's exactly the reason why she came. She responded quite naturally as a woman and a caring mother or a caring, successful lady. But now you see they already gone back or say, what is your problem? Why are you getting involved in something that doesn't concern you? Are you one of us? We know that you're a minister, but these are the things that you see in the government. But what I'm saying is this: we need to really be careful, because number one is, you might just brought out, why didn't we just take all that money you're going to give them, train this young lady, take them to colleges for 2 years only. They can learn skills like trading, they can learn skills like sewing, they can learn different kinds of skills. When they come out, the problem we have is, even after they train, where would they get the job? Because the government is not providing any jobs. They're not bringing in any jobs. So that's the problem. So maybe this is a very subtle solution, not to have too many people being educated, and because there will be no jobs, and the high inflation and high unemployment will eventually come. So it is a sad situation all around. I hate it, but what can we do?
What can we do? Raji, yes. I remember during Obasanjo's regime, he came up and said, we need to checkmate our population. It's growing out of control. And like George just said, no job, nothing, but we're growing in numbers. And now these little girls will become, by next year, June, July,
they'll be having children.
These little girls will be carrying babies,
Oh yeah.
Numbers will be increasing.
Several babies too.
Several babies too. Some might even have twins, triplets, and all that. Raji, what do we do? How do we really come to our senses and stop some of these cultural, traditional things that have never helped our lives?
With Uju, it was just a clash of civilization. She could not even understand why a government should be interested in marrying off so many ladies without any training. She could not. And then, like my other colleagues have said, she had to have been subjected to tremendous pressure, especially from the malams, from the imams, and from all the Muslim clerics. In fact, there were threats on her. There's hardly anything she can do. Let us accept that we live in a multicultural environment, and therefore the things that will be looked at as very, very strange in the South is normal to them, most of the North.
Raji, before Dr. Ibe comes in, let me just say this. Does this not work in that weaponization of poverty? Because if all these guys that are being married to these young ladies that have nothing, and each family now will now depend on the under the table crumbs that fall from the master's table, what would you say now eventually when they come? We paid you for 6 months. Okay, we need to give you a bag of rice. We want you to do thoughts and thoughts. what do you think they will do? They will obey those people, would they not? Because it's weaponization of poverty that is the way that they have been governing us, making sure that the masses are poor. So whatever you give them, is no longer their right. It's just like, I am, Father Christmas to you.
Sir George, unfortunately, this attitude is seeping down to the South. In previously, there's no child in the South who will not be looking forward to being educated, at least in some vocational education, that will make the person essentially self-employed. But the politicians and our leaders have deliberately weaponized this poverty because they have a lot of people that they can control. Now, until we actually take this restructuring very seriously, and to ensure that, look, every state, every region has full control of its resources, and therefore also to be able to curtail the influx of aliens, supposed internal aliens, who will be streaming down from the north to come to the south and just be hanging around. You cannot transport your poverty from the north to us in the south. Something has to be done. Something has to be done, and it has to be drastic. It has to be drastic. It started with the deportation of Osun State people from Lagos. It should have started with the deportation of the hundreds of thousands of beggars who are just roaming the streets of the South. Where are you coming from? Okay. What are you doing in the South?
Gentlemen, it's a
serious matter. And we have to take it seriously.
Now Uju has said they can go ahead with the marriage this week. Probably the marriages will be conducted. Little girls being forced into life they never planned for. Dr. Ibe.
It is not being forced. To them, it's not forced.
Okay.
To them, they are helping them to settle.
Can you imagine?
That is the clash of civilization that I was talking about. That's the clash of the civilization that I'm talking about.
Okay, let's hear Dr. Ibe. Dr. Ibe, tell us.
Dr. Ibe.
Well, I listened to what everyone has said, and everyone is making a point, but there's something like we're not quite getting. For me, I see this differently. I see this like a square peg in a round hole. The idea of getting married, even at a young age, or even at a woman without vocation, there's absolutely nothing wrong there. If the man is able to lead, provide, protect, and the lady is going there to help him fulfill his mission, standing by his side, there's absolutely nothing wrong. Actually, cultures for so many generations where before this so-called fight against, in quote, patriarchy, has all led to problems we currently see in the West and in most countries in terms of fertility and very low replacement rate. The family structure where a man is able to protect and provide, and a woman plays, and is not afraid to say, I'm the head of the home, even though we are equal human beings. And the lady is able to take her role and femininity and support and provide. That family structure has been the best formula that has worked for so many generations, leading to prosperity with men and women working together to provide less criminals, less psychopaths, and less, degenerates in the society. But the issue is that we're having a square peg in a round hole, in the sense that we have too many unemployed. We are not having a problem with replacement rate in Africa, in Nigeria, and the men are not certain to be able to, we are not certain that they're able to provide, protect, and nurture. And this is the problem. So we have to look at it not from a modern neoliberal kind of perspective where a woman has to, like, as if the career is the most important thing. It's not the most important thing. You can actually play your role in a relationship or in a family unit and still be very, very successful.
Thank you.
That's the way I look at it.
Yes.
Can I add to that?
You look at it very well. Yes, George.
Yeah. Just 1 second. 1 second. I will agree with Dr. Ibe if all things were equal in our country. I will agree with you. But all things are not equal, and that's why I'm glad that you put that square hole, the square peg in a round hole, because all things are not equal, and this is nothing but a politics that they're playing. The same reason why they go to central part of Nigeria and all the Bauchis and all those the Josa and they're clearing the population there and replacing that population with other people. That is the same strategy that they're using in doing all of this. The point is this: number one is, if we know for sure that each family that is getting married, one of them is educated, or one of them have a very sound, good job, then it will be a different thing. But what you are seeing is they bring all these people out, and I can guarantee you, if it is checked, most of the men that are marrying these young ladies are terrorists, the so-called rehabilitated terrorists. There is no question about that, because any sound man, any cool-headed man who has control of his family should not be given a wife. They will go and look for their own wives. So what is this about packing all these young people and putting them all together? It tells you exactly what it is. It's so sad. It is sad. It's sad. I'm serious. And it's laughable.
Thank you, George. It's laughable. It's sad. Guys, let's do this.
Yeah, concerning what
fuel your success. SSM invites you to kickstart each weekday with our news update, Between the Lines, featuring the week's top news and analysis, and the most attention-grabbing lines, deciphering world event.
Yes, Monday Between the Lines, 27th of May, 2024. And yes, we are checking the lines. In fact, you can see right behind us particles of lines. And my guys, my coordinators are all there with the lines too. So you're welcome, guys. You're welcome. The discussion is getting hot, but more hotter things are also happening. George was talking about priestly monarchy things and all that earlier on. In Kano State, for our viewers watching, Kano State is the north side of Nigeria, and Kano State is a beautiful state. It has two groups of people, the Hausas and the Fulas. The Fulas are the Fulanese. And Kano State, as far as the population census concerned, Kano State is the most populous state in Nigeria. Kano State is beautiful. Created in 1967, used to be called Northern Region, and is bordered with Jigawa by the northeast, Bauchi by the southeast, Kaduna by the southwest, and a beautiful state. I have been to Kano several times. I've stayed in hotels and resorts in Kano. I tell you, it's a beautiful state. But right now, it's not beautiful, guys. It's not beautiful. Let's see something, and we'll come to the discussion. There is war going on. There is between two emirs, and it's looking very ugly. Let's see. Now, what you're seeing is protests. People are protesting. The emir that was reinstated, they said no, they don't want him. And some Kano citizens went even in Abuja, that is not their state. They went all the way to Abuja to start up a protest. And what you're seeing again there is the man that was reinstated. That's Sanusi. I think we had this discussion last week. That's His Highness Emir of Kano that was dethroned for 4 years, Mohammed Sanusi. and he's been brought back. Now Sanusi is, in fact, we have a video of him when sorry, not this one. So we're trying to make the story to the viewers watching. Sanusi, man, that was brought back from
the reinstatement letter, reappointment letter, restoration letter. It's a letter that made the history of Kano. The Emir has just received.
Okay, that's him taking the certificate of recall,
of return.
Return, whatever you call it. But meanwhile, while all this is playing out, gentlemen, viewers, the man, the other man that was the emir, that was also taken off, is still parading himself as the emir, and that's Emir. It's called Ado Bayero. Now, what has happened is there are now two traditional courts for the Kanu people. There is the court inside Kanu called Gidan Rufa. That's the palace, the headquarters of the Kanu Emir. Now, there's also the Gidan Nasarawa, where the Ado Bayero is now situated, and from there he's doing his own thing. So, guys, let's talk about this because it's an issue. Let's see Ado Bayero in his own corner. That's so. Let's start with Raji. Raji, make a sense for us. Make a sense of this whole thing. Kanu, yes, and all this. Yes. Go ahead, Raji.
No, I had my youth service in Kanu, and I stayed in Kanu for 5 years during the turbulent days of Abubakar Rimi and Sabo Bakinzu. It's all politics. It's all politics. No, what happened then was the creation of 4 other emirates out of Kanu. The emirates of Rano, of Bichi, of Gaya, and another one. Mm-hmm. Now, when you look at the history of the Hausa, the original 7 Hausa states included Rano. So Rano, not being an emirate today, is actually a means of oppress. So those 4 emirates will continue to agitate for their own emirates, and that has been the situation all the time. They are fighting against Kano dominance. Now, as for the 2 emirs now. The first of all, the enthronement of Sanusi in 2015 was against popular choice. It was all political. So when he was enthroned, there was demonstrations. When he was dethroned, there was jubilation. Now that he has been re-enthroned, there's demonstration, and there's the whole process is so messy that I think what they did was to trick Ado Bayero to go on a trip to Ijebu-Ode to go and greet Aujale. While he was away, they now made all those moves so that he will not be in the palace when Sanusi comes back. But as it is now, they are cousins. Mm-hmm. They are cousins. Sanusi is married to Ado Bayero's younger sister, and they are cousins. They are cousins. So it is their own problem. They will sort it out.
It's a family feud.
It's a family feud. They will sort it out.
That's what it is. A family feud. And they grew up together under the same. They grew up together.
Yes, they share the room together.
Mm-hmm.
But why we are concerned, why we're bringing it up as an issue also is because it's escalating to something that might blow up to the government and everybody.
It's a local problem.
Earlier, Kano has the highest, is the most populated state in Nigeria. So what happens in Kano can reflect around the country.
It is not going to.
Can I say something?
It's a storm in a teacup. It will stay in that teacup.
The point is this: number one, when Sanusi was dethroned, he went to court, and the court sided with him and said that it was illegal the way they did it.
Okay.
But because as a result of that, nothing was done for a period of time, for almost 4 years after he won that court case. So now the question is, now that they have decided to, bring him back again, in obedience to the former, when he went to court, he won the case. But nobody came up to say, okay, step down at the burial. This Sanusi is supposed to be reinstalled. So possibly they did that in a way so that there will not be any feuds or any type of physical fighting or the military coming against each other or the forces or something like that. But personally, I believe that it was infiltration of politics into our culture and tradition is so sad. And that's why it ought to be different. We need to really stop this nonsense that we are doing, because we are bastardizing our culture. We are just, messing it up, allowing politics to come and intermingle. And, just the whole thing is laughable. It's funny. Let them deal with that situation. That is an easy way to do. Let them appoint the elders to come and sit down, negotiate with one another, so that it remain a family situation, so that the person whom they decide to be enthroned, let them be there. Now, if they're going to give this man another section, to be ruling, maybe they can do that. But for now, it is so sad, because what I'm seeing is the beautiful culture that we have is just being messed up by politicians. And it is a sad day.
Thank you, George. You're far away, but you're still following this situation. That's a good one. Now let's look at something that matters also. Still on this whole thing, the government has been called up. Abubakar Atiku said the federal government is mainly in his hands into this situation, and it's not right. Now the protesters in Abuja are saying federal government is involved in all of this, dethronement, reinstatement, and all of this. Godwin, do you think that we know traditional things are for states, not government, not federal government? Now, is there some kind of interest from the federal government on who's Kanu's emir? Because that's a big seat.
Well, for now, they're just allegations, unproven allegations, to be fair. But I'm not certain that the elders may be able to resolve it, because they're not unbiased, and it's difficult to maybe to get all the elders that will be unbiased and would reach some kind of compromise, at least to in a method or result that will be acceptable to everyone. Wherever you have human beings, it's impossible not to have politics. I mean, there's no culture without politics. The monarchy in England has politics. Otherwise, we wouldn't have, what's her name, who comes to Nigeria recently. What's the couple again?
Harry and Meghan.
Yeah, Harry and Meghan.
Fiona's friend.
Sorry. Let me just finish. Okay. I haven't finished. And also, the Muslims, for example, the Sunni and the Shiites, decade generation long. But I think the way out is to recognize that everyone has right to self-determination, even those traditional people, and let them decide. If there's a way to democratically get an idea of what the people want and give them their wish, I think it will bring long-term peace than people imposing the wishes on them. This is my opinion, but I could be wrong.
I don't think you're wrong. You're not wrong.
No, we are not too far from it. But the Initial enthronement of Sanusi was not according to the kingmakers.
Yes,
He was enthroned. It was enthroned because of the politics of having to get Jonathan out. He was enthroned to spite Jonathan.
Well,
I don't know about that.
No, not really.
I'm telling you that.
He was okay. Let's not go too further. Fiona and Yema, do you have anything on this?
Yeah, I mean, I think I align with what Dr. Gordon said. I think I agree, with a lot of what he said. But I think my personal feeling, while I'm a big Lamido Sanusi fan, of course, he's a KCOB, so of course, shout out. But I think for me, all this is family quanta at the end of the day. So for me, I'm an equal opportunity anti-monarchist. So I'm anti-monarch here, I'm anti-monarch anywhere. So so for me, all these things to do with monarchy, I'm not really interested. However, I will say one thing, that I feel that the politics and the politicians of and the government of Nigeria are being very meddlesome in traditional core values. They've been doing it in Edo State. It's happening in my state. This is another state it's happening. I think the politicians are trying too hard to control the whole customs and traditions. And I think that is the underpinning issue that we have in all these sort of situations. So that's all I have to say.
And I'll add that.
So
exactly. Okay.
Go ahead.
It boils down to the same structure we have on imposing leadership on like the federal, like the way the election last time was imposed in Nigeria, the presidency. So I think it's the same thing they're doing too in the traditional rulership. So I think the government, like I said,
no presidency was imposed.
Like this. It was.
It was. It was.
Let's not disturb our flow.
It was.
Thank you, Emma. Yes, we know how it is, but
how won't you know?
Gentlemen, let's go to the last gist here. A newsbreaker came in this evening and says federal government has Air Nigeria. That's very cranky.
That was a scam.
Yes.
Scam.
So Festus Keyamo announced this evening, and I think it's time we really do the needful. What you see there is the so-called Air Nigeria. Now listen to this, guys. All of that thing you see is a wallpaper. When the wallpaper is taken off, what you will see is Air Ethiopia. So this is just a wallpaper, and guess what? To put this wallpaper on all over this plane, they said it cost 40 million to do just this on one plane. Now this is our country. This is Nigeria for you. The Minister of Aviation then did all of this very, very. It's even childish. George.
They did not even respectfully take the colors of Ethiopia out of this plane. Okay. Can you just imagine the insult, to our nation? This is why we are dancing to the Emirates, saying, "Oh, it is a good thing. Let's clap for them because they came back after insulting our president." This is all in the name of what is my question. Nigerian Airways died many, many years ago, and it's been buried. And all of a sudden, before the change of the government, they budgeted, millions of naira, billions of naira just to do this nonsense. And this is one of those things that is happening in our country, where people of now, that news that came out and we condemned it. What happened to the money that was budgeted? What happened to everything that was said? We ignored it. It all died away. If it wasn't for this, why are they coming up with this again? Is it not because of APs? Is it not because of APs? So why are they coming up again? You see, because this is some of the things that we really, really need to pay attention to. If we need to be one Nigeria, let's be constructive. Let's look in the same direction together, rather than this nonsense that we are playing called village politics. It is so sad.
what actually happened was that, you see, Air Nigeria was put up for bidding, and we were looking at two airlines. We were looking at Qatar because Qatar has so many planes that they could lease, and we were looking at Air Ethiopia. However, because of the Nigerian politics and the way we do things, Air Qatar opted to go out, so we're left with only Ethiopia. And then they signed some agreement with Ethiopia, but everything was a scam. From top to bottom was a scam.
Oh dear.
Stop that. It's good you brought up that, Raji, but
this is Nigeria for you.
The truth of the whole thing is, it's just rough business deal. We are not supposed to align with any airline to do anything. Nigeria can afford to stand on its own and run its own fleet, bring its own planes, run the business. I mean, that whole thing was just crazy.
Yeah.
It was a scam. It was a complete and absolute scam. Call it what it is. There's no need to paint pictures. It was a scam.
As a matter of fact, one of the people who are involved in the whole process had suggested that why doesn't Air Nigeria become a public affair, a public liability, where every Nigerian could buy shares into Air Nigeria.
And that could have been a good one than this.
That could have been a much better business thing. Yes.
Okay. You know something.
Then they won't have control.
You know something. You know what is going on. Okay. The president of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, just recently went to brag on David Umahi and the Calabar Lagos road, and he's talking about his bragging moments. He's bragging because finally what they were wanting, they have achieved. They have destroyed the businesses in front, and they go back to the original road that they were supposed to have remained with. Okay, now he's bragging. That bragging actually is not about the road that is going to be built. Now we have found a very successful way of, siphoning money from the company, because you watch and see. I said it before. Most of the things that I will say, I'll come back again and I will confront, everybody here, because it's going to happen. You will see that this particular road they're talking about, once it passes Lagos or the West, it will stop. Watch. And the money that was budgeted for that land, will have 1/3 of it will be spent, or and the rest of them will disappear. That's what you're going to see.
Now I'm hearing. Sorry. Now I'm hearing that.
Yes.
Sorry. Now I'm hearing that they have given sections of the road to different contractors, and therefore the contractors will be working simultaneously.
Interesting.
Yes. Yema, Godwin, let's hear from you guys before we take it off. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think this is just the whole issue of accountability when it comes to Nigeria. Nobody is ever held accountable for anything. I think that's the inherent problem across the board, across everything that we try and do. There's nobody held accountable for it. 40 minutes, we throw numbers around as though it's child's play. Meanwhile, we have kids that can't go to school. We have universities that are on strike. We have all crazy things going on. We're talking about anthems and all crazy things, but nobody.
Mention pension too. Pension.
Yeah, exactly. So nobody is ever held accountable for anything. We just have this big old conversation, but nobody is ever actually held accountable for anything that happens. They put a skin on an airplane and it was 40 million. I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy.
We missed talking about the anthem thing. We might do that on Wednesday. But guys, Godwin.
No, that's an unnecessary distraction.
What do you have on the Godwin?
I want to say that it's obvious to say disgraces. Like I said, when you are on stage, in the circus, you have to dress like a clown, and when you're surrounded by clowns, you have to put on a red nose, and maybe that's just a reflection of the symptom of the role of being a clown. But I would like to say the idea of publicly traded company. It may not really work because you see, publicly traded companies there are different class of shares. Yeah, you know that. Yeah, there are shares with voting rights. And it's not about, and people don't buy shares because they're trying to buy patriotic shares. Yeah, they buy shares so they
To
appreciate.
make money.
Shares so they appreciate.
But
You're
we're
selling.
comparing it to this whole plan. This
No,
whole thing.
I was trying to give an
Yeah,
idea from an economic
you know.
perspective. Let me land. Yeah. So a better way would be to create an incentive for a capitalist, for a private venture, yes, to come in and take the risk. Risk return ratio should be high. Return risk ratio should be high, so that he sees that the possible returns can offset the visible risks, and that's by making, for example, tax incentives or tax breaks, supporting in terms of fuel, covering up some maintenance, or even giving some initial capital in terms of, because you need some. We talked about Qatar having a lot of aircraft. You need some minimum quantity of aircraft to take up, and then also create a competitive deregulation in terms of allowing more people to come, removing market barriers and making competition there. It will allow more. Even give out the name Air Nigeria as a kind of franchise, and then someone can buy that name and use it for a particular period of time.
Sorry, Gordon, you've forgotten Arik. Arik was supposed to was being funded to be Air Nigeria, to be the face of Nigeria. And what happened to it?
Yeah, funded by who? I'm not saying funded by the government. The government role is not to fund. Yeah,
the government.
I mean, just support, create the environment, regulate minimally to allow to attract people to come into the sector.
You are talking about a sane environment. You are talking Nigeria where the government always want to have control.
Time flies when we're having fun.
Yeah, yes, of course. That desire to want to have control when you do it so poorly is the problem. Yeah. The best way would be to allow to create that environment that will attract someone who is ready to take the risk and allow him to breathe, in the economy. Allow him to breathe.
Yeah, man. What you have to say generally, not just on this, what updates do you want to give us before we take it out? Come on.
Okay, it's really concerning the Nigeria, that the government is telling the people like this. It's very sad. Let me just say that. And that's one of those things that makes you frustrated for being in Nigeria and like sad. So I'm sad hearing that actually.
It's sad. So okay, guys. Thank you very much. Listen, time flies when we're having fun, but I mean, it's worth it. The fun has been great. Connected. This is our own portal. Everybody here, George from Canada, and Raji from Lagos, Nigeria, Yama from Turkey, Istanbul, Fiona from London, UK, Godwin from Russia, Moscow, Russia, and myself from Milan, Italy. Guys, we'll be coming back Wednesday. More things. National anthem is being reversed. We might be saying the other side of the anthem. I grew up reading that one anyway, so I know it off head. Oh God of creation. So join us on Wednesday when we'll be reading the national anthem the other way around. All right, guys. Have a beautiful week.
We love distractions.
We love distractions.
We love distractions, Yes,
sir.
Elevate your new week. Fuel your success. SSM invites you to kickstart each weekday with our news update, Between the Lines, featuring the week's top news and analysis, and the most attention-grabbing lines, deciphering world event.